Hello and welcome to Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. I didn't record yesterday or Monday because I didn't want to talk about the election. And now that it's over, oh, that is not closed. So I shook my protein shake up again and it's not closed. Oh, but I have toilet paper here. It's fine. Yeah, now that it's over, and I'm trying to stay off the internet for the next 4 years, let's talk about knitting. So yeah, I woke up at like 4 in the morning. Excuse me while I drink my coffee protein shake. Yeah, I woke up at like 4 in the morning. And I could not go back to sleep because I opened my phone and got very upset. I don't usually talk about politics on here, but like I'm incredibly liberal, obviously. It should be very obvious to anyone. I just don't want to talk about it because this is about knitting. But there's a podcast that I listen to called Coach Bennett's podcast. He's a running coach, but like he opens the podcast by saying, this is about running and this is not about running. And I'm like, you know what? That's a really nice way to put it. I like that. So this is, you guys know that this is about knitting, but also this is not about knitting. Like, yeah. So one of the things that I pride myself on is my response to crisis. I'm not sure why I tend to just kind of try to keep a cool head in a crisis, but, and there have been some crises where I can't, but like, you know, things that are not like affecting my physical, you know, if I like broke my leg, I might not be great in a crisis, but like we're talking about like an emotional crisis, I'm pretty good. Generally I tend to keep a pretty level head. So, you know, I'm going to go to work today. It's early in the morning. It's like 8 in the morning, but, it's really dark because now we've had daylight saving time and like, and it's dark when I get home, or like it's almost dark, and I don't like recording when it's dark outside if I can avoid it, just because like you can't really see anything properly. Like I have lights back there, but they're like weirdly fluorescent and I don't think that the color shows up well. So I'm taking this time to record in the morning because I ran really early this morning. I went for a run at like 6:45 and I only had to run a few miles because it's Wednesday, which is my like usually my like recovery run day after I have a big workout on Tuesday. So I had a really good workout yesterday. That was a positive of what happened yesterday. I also ate a really good pizza. So yeah, there were some positives. But yeah, I had a great workout yesterday. So, but I did not sleep well, obviously. And, my like Garmin has like my watch has this thing called body battery. It's like 0 to 100, like where are you in the day? Like how ready are you to take on the day? And it's at like 35 today. Like it will go up to like 75 while I sleep, but it only increased like 30 points and it was very low yesterday because I did a workout and then I did another run and I had like a lot of things to do. Like obviously I had to go vote and like, I don't know, be stressed about the, you know, future of this country. But yeah, where was I going with this? Oh, I have a very low body battery today, so that's fun. Although I did order some sleeping pills. Monica, my friend Monica, gave me this like Unisom sleeping pill, like half of one the other night when I was staying at her house, and I slept for like 9.5 hours, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have one of these every day, but like this is gonna be advantageous for me in general. Ugh, I really spilled this coffee. At least it didn't really get on my shirt. That's good. This is a beverage I've never consumed on camera before. This is a protein shake with a scoop of chocolate whey protein from Kirkland Signature. Shout out Costco. The only place I will ever be able to afford buying groceries anymore, ever. So that's fun. And then I put in iced coffee that I make myself and almond milk. Used to be oat milk. Sometimes it's oat milk, but almond milk is cheaper at Costco. You can get it in the like little box types that don't actually need to be refrigerated until you open them. And also they don't sell unsweetened oat milk at Costco. They only sell like added sugar oat milk, and they sell unsweetened almond. It's called almond beverage at Costco. And you know, the protein powder tastes like chocolate ice cream. I don't need it to be sweeter. And yeah, I put added sugar into my diet when I'm running, because my body needs it, but I'm not a huge sugar person otherwise. But anyway, I'm tired today, I guess. But I'm hoping to sleep well tonight because I have to go pick up my Unisom sleeping pills from the Amazon locker on the way home from work. So here's hoping that works. Anyway, let's talk about knitting. So I'm trying to just kind of like keep things moving today. Like when something like this happens, I find it's best to kind of focus on the things that I can control. And you know, I can control like projects that I'm working on and my running and, you know, the state of my house. So I got home from my run and I literally vacuumed the bathroom because there was hair all over the floor. There's always hair all over the floor. I live with another woman. There's hair all over the floor. Everywhere in the house, there's hair all over the floor. So I felt good about that. I was like, look, I did an action item. I did something. That was cool. And, you know, I came up here and I was like, I'm going to block a bunch of stuff. Like I have a bunch of stuff that I finished needs to be blocked or washed because it's hand spun or whatever. So like I can focus on that, you know, for the next little while. I can knit, you know, I can focus on finishing some projects. So that's good. So let me share some stuff. Like I have some things that I finished and I'm proud of that and excited to show you. So yeah. One thing I've been working on for like actually a really long time. I don't actually know when I cast this on. I call this my couch shawl. This is the Botanic Shawl by Stephen West. Okay, I always say that I like this light better, but then it's like really bright right there and it's like creates a glare. Anyway, I made this with, oh yeah, that's good. That's okay, you can see that. I made this with hand spun. And wool of the Andes worsted. So it has this like slip stitch pattern and then at the end it just has garter ridges to finish her off. And it has I-cord edges everywhere. And yeah, I just thought this was a nice way to use hand spun. And I kept this on the couch because the pattern was very simple. And I just like worked on it on the couch downstairs when I was watching TV or like before I went out for runs or whatever. And I worked on it just periodically for a long time because, you know, it's like one of those things where you can really only get like a couple rows done at a time if you have 15 minutes. But it adds up, right? So actually I really like this. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I need to block it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to give it to someone, but it's nice to just like have a pile of gifts for people that you want to keep warm, I guess. We all have to keep each other warm for the next 4 years. I have a Canadian passport. It's one of those days where I'm like, I don't actually expect I'm gonna need to flee the country, but like I'm really glad that I can legally do that if I need to. So yeah, better renew that thing. I mean, like they'll let me into the country. I am a citizen of Canada. But I have a card that says I'm a citizen. It has a horrible picture of me at the age of 16 on it. Some people have their Canadian citizenship cards, like which you get if you were naturalized as a Canadian citizen instead of born a Canadian citizen. You get the citizenship card, and it has a picture of you whenever you got that citizenship. And so a lot of people that I know actually have it as like babies, like they have like, and you don't get a new one. That's just your card for your whole life. So yeah, at least mine, like people look at it and they're like, that doesn't look like you. And I'm like, I think it does. I just was having a really bad day. And I was 16. We all have bad days when we're 16. A lot of them. We all have bad days when we're 30, like me yesterday or today, I guess. I don't know. I'm here. I'm on 2 feet, and I feel good about that. So that's what I kept saying to people on Saturday and Sunday after I ran 20 miles, and then I went to church on Friday night. I went to go sing on Saturday. No, I went to go sing at church on Friday night. Went to go for a 20-mile run on Saturday morning. Went back to church in the afternoon, sing mass again. And I went back to church on Sunday to sing mass again. And people kept asking me on Saturday and Sunday afternoon, like, how are you? And I was like, I'm on 2 feet. I feel great about that. You know what? It's all we can think about right now. Let's just move on. Let's just do our jobs. Like, that's how I feel today. I'm like, okay, all I can do is go to work and do my job. And like, hopefully that will make some people's lives a little bit better because I did that. And so that's kind of how I feel about being here. Like I was like, I don't need to record today. And then I was like, I should record today because probably some people need to like think about something else or just like, you know, I don't know, hear someone try to be sane about things or like tell it like it is. I don't know. None of us know what's gonna happen. All we can do is keep knitting and like, you know, doing good, putting good into the world. And I've realized over the past few years, I've been doing this for almost 4 years. 4 years, really? Yeah, 2021. That's when I started this. That's crazy. But I think that I'm putting good into the world by doing it. I've realized this by people who I've met, people who've commented, like all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm going to keep doing this. I don't like, sometimes I show up and I'm like, why are people watching this? Like, I'm just talking to a camera and being like, hey, I knitted this thing. And people are like, you know, say nice stuff. Like, this is a nice part of the internet. This is a part of the internet I'm going to stay part of because people are only nice. If you have bad things to say, please do not comment them. I will report you and delete your comments. Stop watching me if you have mean things to say. But like, people don't. And I'm really like, it makes me remember that there is good in the world. And so this is part of my life that makes me remember to be the good, to support the good, and to like nurture it in other people. I don't know. So I like this community. People are lovely. Thank you for being here and watching and like helping me not go crazy, I guess, hopefully. I don't know. But regardless, I think this is a nice corner of the internet and I'm really proud to be here to be able to say that. So I'm just gonna, yeah, clearly my brain is just gonna go wherever it's gonna go today because I'm tired. But I finished this sweater for my grandpa. It's not blocked. Again, another thing I need to block. I think it's fantastic. It's a Rudari sweater. This is a Vetus Jonsdottir pattern. Eventually I'm going to put show notes in the description box, but I think I'm just going to upload this and post it. For now, because people might need to see it. Especially if you're like alone today and I don't know, just want to make sure that people aren't by themselves, even virtually. And I knitted this in Brown Sheep Lamb's Pride. The main color is Driftwood. The light brown is Oatmeal. The red is Blue Blood Red. I just needed a second skein of that Oatmeal. I think if I had knitted a smaller size or hadn't done these cuffs in Oatmeal, I would not have needed that. But I didn't, when I bought the yarn, I didn't anticipate knitting it for my grandpa, and I'm glad I did. So yeah, I just alternated skeins of the Driftwood in the Oatmeal and the yoke at some point when I knew I was going to run out and I had another skein. You can't tell. I'm proud of that. Yay. Gonna block that. I have a sweater from my grandmother from Fair Isle Weekend that I knitted a long time ago. And I didn't want to keep it because the neck was too big. Or sometimes V-necks are just like that. But I think my grandma will really like it. Like, she'll like wear it over a collared shirt. It's kind of her vibe. She's a shockingly fashionable woman for someone who's 87. So that's nice. I hope that I'll show you guys when I remember. I'm gonna have to remember at some point because I'll have to ship it to them in Canada. So yeah. Okay, so one of the things that I decided to do during Marathon Taper is focus on knitting. I like to be able to focus on knitting when things are crazy and stuff, but you know, something that I want to do like is just give myself a project. So Marathon Taper, for those of you who don't know this, it's okay if you don't know. It's when you cut down on your mileage significantly the 3 weeks before a marathon. So my marathon's 2.5 weeks. So I peaked last week at like 46 miles or 47 miles a week in the week. And that like this week is like 37. So it's not like an enormous cut. Like I'm not like cutting 50%, but it's a cut that means basically I don't run as far on weekday mornings usually because I still have a 16-mile run on Saturday, which is not something to shake a stick at. That's a big run. And considering that like my 20-miler that I did on Saturday was the longest run I had done in 4 weeks and the biggest workout, the only correct workout of Saturday long run / workout I'd done in 4 weeks, like according to my training plan. I was glad that I was able to do it in the time that I did it and not be injured. My knee seems to have self-regulated, especially it did hurt after the run, but then on Sunday it didn't hurt at all and it hasn't really given me any trouble since. Okay, I'm talking really fast. I'm gonna slow down. So during I know that marathon taper is a weird time for people. And I've never done this before, but I know that the mental side of it is weird because I did a small taper for my half marathon in May, and it made me feel crazy, and gaslight myself all the time. And there was like a day when I was making an English muffin for breakfast and I dropped a frozen English muffin on my foot, and like it hit my ankle bone really hard and it was frozen and it hurt like heck. But then I forgot about it, and like the next day my ankle really hurt. Not when I was running, just like when I touched it, and I was like, I have a broken ankle. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. And then I remember that I clocked myself in the ankle with the English muffin the day before, and I was like, no, maybe I'm not gonna die. I think I might be okay. So things like that happen. I've actually decided to start like writing stuff down about this and like talking about insane things that happened during marathon training, things that we can't control or things that we did that are stupid, like me. I can't control things that I did that were stupid, or like, you know, and in particular, I'm interested in like how taper makes me go crazy. And I'm writing them down, and I would like to, like, I've talked, you know, maybe I've talked about this before. I would like to write a book of just like collected stories of me doing dumb stuff during training so that other runners feel like they're not so crazy. And I think that's like a big part of my personality is like being honest about experiences, because people are fake all the time. And I remember one time I told my college advisor, I said to him, you know, I'm worried that I'm not going to come off as genuine. And like, I think we were talking about graduate school applications, or like maybe we were talking about something else. And I said, I'm worried I'm not going to come off as genuine. And he laughed so hard. He's like, you are the most genuine person I've ever met in my entire life. And that was a great compliment. I knew he was being serious, but he thought that was hilarious that I considered that. So I think that there's not enough people in the world who are like really genuine about stuff. Like, even just like the idea of if someone asks you a question and you don't really know, don't pretend that you know and try to talk out of your ass about it. Like, I usually just say like, I don't really know. Like, I'm interested and curious, but I actually don't know. So like, even if it's about music history and it's like something that I don't know, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Or knitting, like, I don't know. This is how I do this. I've never done that thing. You should Google it. Like, people ask me that. There's so many people like I just witness who just talk nonsense about things that you can tell they don't know, and you're like, why do you do that? Like, that's ridiculous. But whatever, it's a coping mechanism. I don't know. I don't know why people do anything. I don't even know why I do most things, but I think we need to be genuine and we need to be honest with ourselves, because I think a lot of runners freak out during taper, just from what I've heard and read and seen. And I will probably also go kind of crazy in the next couple weeks. And so I'm going to write it down, and maybe someday I'll be able to publish those things somewhere. And I think what I really want in my life is to be somebody who can just kind of like exist for other people in this way, almost like share experiences, be honest, like be real, like being a personality. And I'm like, I guess that's kind of what I've achieved here. Like, nobody pays me a lot of money to do it. Sometimes YouTube pays me ad money, like once a quarter. They pay me like $100. It doesn't make a lot of money, but it's, you know, I know that because people tell me, they're like, yeah, you keep me company every week or whatever, and you know, things like that. And it's like, well, that's good. Like, if I can put some good into the world, I want to do that. And I feel like this is a way that I can put good into the world, is by talking about things and being honest and genuine. Because I think that models helpful things for other people. So anyway, that's a long tangent for me to say that I am knitting a lot of cup cozies. Here's one that I just made the other day. This is a project that I'm doing during taper. That's the whole point. I've tried to give myself a project to be like, I'm gonna write some, you know, patterns. I have one that's ready. I just need to knit a couple more samples of that particular design, so I can take a picture and put it in the thing. But I think I'm gonna try and publish it for like December 1st or something. What I should do is maybe I don't need more pictures. Maybe I'll just publish it on the day that Starbucks releases their red cups. That's probably like tomorrow. So maybe I'll do that. If I do, I'll put it in the show notes. But this is a cup cozy that I made. I don't have a cup. Well, I guess I could put it in my blender bottle. Does it fit? Yeah, I think it fits. Maybe I should shut this so it doesn't spill. One of the things that's annoying about blender bottles is that they're very hard to like securely close. You have to use a lot of force. Hey, it fits. This is kind of a larger cup cozy, but you can see how it goes around the cup. You can also see the design better this way. This is the side, this is the front. I'm getting another one of these with the color dominance reversed so that the white is a back, like same way, so that like the star is in the colors, and then the like diamond here is in the white, but I'm gonna reverse the color dominance so that because in this the white is color dominant, and I wonder what it will look like if I make the colors dominant, because like you can't probably tell, not compared with something else, but like you can, I mean, I can tell here that the like the blue lines here are not as vibrant, close to the surface, which is the reason for color dominance, as the white. And so I'm just interested to see, like you will look at it and be like, those are two different designs, and I can assure you that no, actually it's just about color dominance. So I'm gonna knit another one of this design to show that, just because I think that's fun. I use just like, the reason that bin is empty is because the bin is out. It's full of scraps of Jamieson's of Shetland and Jamieson and Smith colors. So I have a few. I want to do one with a dark background actually. So I want to do like a charcoal. This is my 81 cone. It's no longer a cone because I've used most of it. And I'm gonna do like, this is Ralma, but the rest of these are Jamieson and Smith. And then this is a Jamieson's of Shetland. This is gonna be my pop. So this is gonna be one of them. Yeah, I just want to do a few different ones, some different blues, some turquoises. I have a few colors just kind of scattered on the table to do. Yeah, so you can hear that pop, like it's really secure, but it's really hard to actually close it. Anyway, but I have one. It's not this pattern. It's a bigger Selbu star. I use the Selbu Mittens pattern book to create these. So if you have the Selbu Mittens pattern book, I'll talk about this another time, like about if you want to like use my pattern to just design your own and you have a book, please feel free to do that. At some point I might just publish like an expansion pack maybe of like cup cozies instead of just publishing them all as separate patterns, so you don't have to pay like $5 for each one, because that seems silly. I don't need this. I don't need the money from this. I mean, I have a job. But anyway, speaking of patterns, once again, if you missed it, this Forget-Me-Not cowl is online on Ravelry. So look up there for a link to Ravelry. This is a mini skein pattern that I knitted with John Arbon Harvest Hues. They were very kind and offered me yarn support. So go buy yarn from John Arbon, or buy John Arbon's yarn from the Woolly Thistle if you're in the States. The Woolly Thistle has like Yarnadelic, and they have Devonia, and sometimes they have Knit by Numbers. They have Exmoor Sock. They have the yarns that John Arbon wholesales. Woolly Thistle has them in stock if you're in the US, so you can get them there. I personally often usually just spin John Arbon, and I'm gonna keep talking about that. But I have a mini skein here. Everything that they do, they make in mini skeins, because they just have a mini skein winder and they're like, we're just gonna do this. I think that's phenomenal. I love that they have mini skeins. It's awesome. Oh, the Woolly Thistle also has Appledore DK. I don't know if they have other Appledores. I don't know if the other Appledores are wholesaled. But John Arbon is great. They're a mill in Devon, which is in the UK. This is their Harvest Hues blend. For an example, this is the 4-ply. They also have a worsted weight Harvest Hues. This is 1/3 Blueface Leicester, 1/3 Falklands Merino, 1/3 Zwartbles. They use as much British wool as they can to just like decrease the mileage the wool has to travel. They just changed the blend of this last year because it used to be 2/3 Falklands Merino, like 65% Falklands Merino, and the rest was Zwartbles. But they've changed the blend to be 1/3 Blueface Leicester, which comes from the UK, so it doesn't have to travel quite as far. But yeah, Harvest Hughes is great. The palette is wonderful. You can't really, oh, there we go. Now you can see all the colors. So I did just a design with 8 different contrasting colors, and this silver birch as the main color. It's not a high contrast piece. You can do it as high contrast as you want. I'll probably knit more of them because I like it. It's quick. Great Advent project if you've got, like me, insane amounts of Shetland wool. There you go. This is something you could knit. If you have 100 grams of a main color and bits and bobs, you know, the world's your oyster. So yeah, speaking of John Arbon, I did an order from John Arbon a couple weeks ago. Just, I don't know, I was feeling like they had Halloween specials, and I was like, I need those, because of course I did. And I've put them away. So they also come in these little plastic baggies, so it's actually kind of hard to see them. Like, they come like this, but sometimes they split, like this one you can see is split. So one of the things I got was all the Halloween special tops, but then I also got the Dark Matter limited edition tops. So you can kind of see through this bag. Dark Matter limited edition. They had like 4 blends of tops, and they were like, which one should we make as yarn? I don't actually know which one they made as yarn. I probably voted, but you can buy all the tops. And so I was like, I will buy all the tops. And so this one is called Eclipse. I have not spun it. I just got it yesterday. But then this one, I think this one's called Flare. So this is like orange. This is not 10. I think it's 80% Falklands Merino, 10% alpaca, and 10% silk. That white is the silk. You can see it. I got this last night, and I didn't want to go to bed when I got home at like 8:30, so I just spun, and then I got up at like 4 in the morning, and I kept spinning the entire first bobbin. I'm spinning it thicker, so it was quick. It was a quick spin, trying to get more of a sport DK weight out of this. I think this is phenomenal. One of my favorite things about John Arbon is how interesting and like heathered effect you get from these crazy looking tops. Like, you can get a top and you're like, that's so many colors, and it gets, you know, you get something like that and it's all blended together, and it's so beautiful. It's so interesting. So I am, yeah, spinning this. I don't know what to do with it, but I like it. It's spun, a lot of their tops just spin up really beautifully, especially on my e-spinner, I find. So I've spun some John Arbon skeins on my wheels, but I don't like the effects as much. I just find that the consistency on the e-spinner is just really, really good with John Arbon yarns, or John Arbon tops. So that's just my 2 cents about that. But yeah, I finished my pressed flowers spin. This is 2 of the skeins, the main 2 skeins. The first one didn't come out well because the Lazy Kate was being weird and I hadn't let the bobbins rest long enough, and it was bizarre. But I think this is really funky. There's a little bit of brown. I mean, it's obviously overwhelmingly like green and teal, which is what I liked, but there's a little bit of purple. I think I really emulated Spin Cycle with this, which is shocking to me. And I will tell you how I did that. I cannot always do that. And I've tried with like single colors and stuff. I find it really hard. But with dyed braids that are like a bunch of different colors within the braid, and I spin, like I you know, tear off the like long strips so that you're, you know, the colors change pretty quickly, as though you're doing a fractal spin or something, you know, and as long as the braids have some things in common, they don't have to be totally the same. Like, you're gonna get a lot of variety within the skeins regardless, and that's why Spin Cycle skeins look so different. But I'm trying to get the effect of like, you know, kind of colors changing seemingly randomly, but it all kind of like being tied together by one theme, I guess. And I think I did that, and I'm proud. So I think I'm gonna keep trying to do stuff like this, whether it's 2 or 3 plies, just like putting braids together more often to see what I get. I think it'll be fun and funky. One thing I'm gonna do, I can tell you this. Oh, did I put that one away? Dang, hang on. I'll get it out. I have 2 braids, and I think they're both Cheviot. One is from, I got this at Spinner's Hill this year at Rhinebeck. And then this is also, I think, Cheviot. This is from Out Into the World. It's called Unobtainium. That's the colorway. And they do have this purple in common. And I'm going to spin these 2 together for a fractal that's a real funky just for fun. It's going to be nice and woolly. I was like thinking of doing this with other, combining this with other braids, but Chivia is a really woolly wool, and it's like a springy woolly wool, and I didn't know how it would play with other wools that were like softer or like more drapey. So but then I just realized that these are both Chivia and I can use them together, and that's perfect. So that'll be a super fun combo spin. It's what it's called. If you use different braids, it's called a combo spin. So then I had a bunch of singles left on one of the bobbins. I have to keep an eye on the time because I have to start gumbo in the slow cooker. So I have like 10 minutes left. I have to be at work by 10. I had a bunch of singles on one bobbin left, the silk one, the like silk bamboo chargy or something bobbin. So I then spun another like part of a braid that I had, which was a lot of white, but also like a little bit of orange and pink and gray. And I knew that these would go together, and they look phenomenal together. I don't actually know how much this weighs, but it's like 400 yards unwashed, which is insane to me. That seems like a lot of yardage. So that's fun. Excited about this. I don't know what to do with it, but I just maybe make like a baby sweater or something. I finally gave a sweater to a baby, the little pink sweater I made. I finally put the button bands on, did the steek, put the buttons on, gave it to the baby's parents, Mike and Allison, and she wore it to church on Sunday, except I didn't see it because Allison had to take the sweater off of her because it was really warm because of global warming. Cheers. And I have 2 more things I want to show you. I can't remember if I showed this last time, but I like it and I want to show people. So I am a hockey fan as a Canadian, and I unfortunately support the Toronto Maple Leafs, who always suck, and so do a lot of people that I know, and I have decided to do a like record on socks of the Leafs, of just the Leafs season this season. So I have chosen 4 colors. Gray is for away loss, black is for home loss, and then light blue is for away win, and dark blue is for home win. 4 rounds for each game, and I have planned it out, so I'm doing like 18 stripes on the leg, and then I'm gonna do the heel and move on to the foot. I'm gonna give these to my best friend from college, Jeff, who is a huge Leafs fan, when they're done. He doesn't know that. It's too bad he already turned 30. Otherwise I would give them to him for his 30th birthday, but he'll be turning 31 next year, so he can get them for his 31st birthday. And I think they're fun, and they're Leafs colors. So if you love sports, or there's someone in your life who loves sports, you could do that. That's so fun. You could do it for baseball, for hockey, for, I don't know, basketball. How many games are in a season? Can't do it for football probably because there's just like not enough games. You'd have to have really thick stripes. And I just like feel inspired to knit socks again, but I don't want to knit complicated socks. So I also cast on a pair of these because I'm also trying to use more handspun in like interesting and creative and different ways. And so I have cast these on. I cast these on yesterday. I like posted a picture on Instagram. I was like, will I finish these before the election gets called? And everybody was like, why are they red? And I was like, that's a great question. So I posted another picture, be like, vote Harris. Anyway, I think they're fun and autumnal and pumpkin spicy. And I have just a skein of Stroll from Knit Picks that's in Hollyberry that was mostly a full skein, and I was like, I could definitely knit striped socks with these. This is a hand spun skein of like some random singles that were probably left over from another project. And I thought these would go well together, and like they're obviously like low contrast, but I have more that I want to use. I was actually thinking I would use this for those as well, but this is a huge skein, and like this skein was smaller, so I don't know. But I have another one in here also left over from another project where I had leftover singles, and I think I'm gonna pair this with like a purple or something. I don't know, maybe a gray. We'll see. Just fun. I just thought striped socks would be fun, and like, I don't know, maybe if I get my face, yeah, look at that, you can see it. So that's fun. And yeah, that's all I have today. Oh, I opened up my November socks. This is a Madeline Tosh sock. I've knitted socks with Madeline Tosh sock before. It's 100% wool. The only thing is that it's really thick, and if you use size 1 needles, it really hurts your hands, I found. So I will probably knit socks with this eventually on size 1.5 needles because it's pretty thick. So, and this is beautiful. This colorway is called Burnt Kale. This does actually look like burnt kale. Monica's mom, I think, got like 2 skeins of this and gave it to us, and we each have one. So sweet of Monica to wrap that up for me last year. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. So I hope you stay well and you're okay, and you don't go crazy. I'm gonna try really hard to not go crazy today. I think having a purpose of going into work and, you know, being there for students will help me, because that's kind of how I help myself, I guess, by helping others move forward or solve problems or focus on what's in front of me that I can control. So I hope you do the same, and that you have an okay week. If not the best week ever, you have an okay week, a stable week. And yeah, think of me during taper. I'm going crazy. No, I'm not yet. The election has made me crazy, but taper hasn't made me crazy yet. And I'm hoping to kind of stay sane-ish, but I'll tell you the dumb things that I do. It'll be fun for you. Also, look, I got a new Stanwood winder. I really like this. I also got a huge Stanwood ball winder. This is a Swift, it's not a winder. But I got a Stanwood Swift, and I'm really glad that I did. I got a discount. I found a discount code online because I have Capital One Shopping and they just find all the discount codes. It's a really good Swift, very sturdy. You know, I think I'm a huge fan of the umbrella Swift. It does a great job. Yeah, Stanwood makes the Amish style Swift too. I don't know if I would enjoy that. I think it would frustrate the heck out of me. But if you're into that, you can check that out too. They also make winders of all sizes. I got a huge one. I love it. It sometimes is a little annoying to figure out, but for the most part, it's been great and I love it. Although it's hard to use the winder and the Swift combination with my yardage counter. So that's another project for another day. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's all. So thank you so much for watching. Again, please be well. This has been Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Bye!